There's nothing that someone else can tell you to do, right? This is all internal. That shoulder clunk never gets fun. If you want to make any sort of change in your life, you can't be asking other people for the blueprint. So all of it is internal. You can observe the workings, or be advised by other people. But what works for other people is not going to work for you. I mean, it might, but it's very rare that it will. And that's not just like normal things like breath work or meditation, because they're good for everyone. But actually changing your life and being disciplined to do it every single day. There is no step-by-step on that. And so watching all these motivation videos and all these gurus and all this thing is just futile attempts. It's the major key to your better future is you. And me, inside here, I finally made the decision to change. Not because I watched some video or listened to some person. Alright, some wins for the morning. I did not wake up in the night. I woke up on time. My wrists are feeling good. My shoulders are a little bit sore, but they don't ache or they don't hurt, so it just means they had a little bit of work yesterday, just good stuff. Legs feeling relatively good. Ankles are feeling good. Feeling strong. Nose is not that blocked. And it's a beautiful day to be alive. For the longest time, I would just try and brute force my way through changing, and it got me nowhere. That's the point where you say you're going to change and you go to the gym and you change up your diet and all this stuff, right? And then 2 weeks later you quit and you fail, because it's not, you haven't become the person that does those things. You're just doing them, right? And to some degree it can work for some people where you just do it and then become, but the actual game changer for me was just being in a state of gratitude, being in a state of positivity, in a state of learning, of growing, of healing. and learning to love the journey, which I know everyone says, but there's a reason everyone says it. Once you learn to love the journey, and you love every single moment of it, no matter good or bad, you learn from it all. That is the key. That's the keystone right there. And to when everything starts improving, everything in your life starts upgrading, you start looking at life in a way of not only looking for answers, but finding answers in things that you may not have thought about before. And the real moment of change, I guess, period of change, was when I started looking inwards for answers, not only for knowledge, but for the ability to heal myself, ability of discipline and drive. Now, I decided to do this vlog basically overnight, right? But it's because I was in a state of gratitude and learning and being that person that stays disciplined, does the work, regardless if I'm doing good or failing or whatever it may be, right? I'm just that guy. So, what really benefited me was, rather than watching all these bullshit videos, to be honest, they're not bullshit if you're in the right headspace, right? But all these videos, listening to all these people, when in truth, you need to spend that time digging deep within yourself, understanding your reason why you do things, why you want to do things. Either go towards pleasure or go away from pain. And away from pain definitely worked a lot better for me, because I experienced pain for so long. And I know that if I didn't make the changes, then I wouldn't be able to walk, and I'm missing out on so much in my life. And I don't want to miss out, because I've mistreated my body and not done things that I'm supposed to do. And you gotta get deep. You gotta go deep and dark with yourself, right? Because you start realizing things about why you do things and why you cover up things and all this bullshit stuff, right? Once you start taking layers back and realize the truths, you know deep inside you, right, what the truths are, why you act certain ways. So it's almost as if you're scared of that inner layer of you. And it sucks, right? But to make actual change, actual difference in your life, damn, you gotta befriend that guy and leave him in the dust. You gotta fucking beat that guy. Spend your time looking inwards, asking yourself the real questions, the hard questions, and that will get you much further than any course, any talk, any seminar. Just spend the time with yourself. If you were to hand a book to someone, no matter how big, how small, with an exact step-by-step guide on how to do anything, hand it to them on a silver platter exactly what to do, they will not do it. Majority of people will not do it. They will not follow through. One, because they realize and know how hard it's going to be. Two, they realize and know how long the journey is going to be. But 3, because they don't want it. They're not ready. They're not that person that is willing to do the work and make the change. And so it doesn't matter how much you look for external praise, external influence, external help. Only when you look internally and really dig deep in yourself, that's when you can start to change. And you will start to change. And you are changing. And you are becoming better. Day by day, in every way, I am getting better and better. Now, it can be so easy for me, right? Starting from 0, my elbow hurts. I can't even do push-ups properly. At the start of this journey, I was doing 40, 80 push-ups every single morning. And now, I'm starting back from square one, right? And I know it's going to be a long journey. I know it's going to be tough. I'm here, loving the journey, and that's what is the most important thing, right? I have spent the time looking internally, battling my demons, overcoming them, understanding myself. So that now, I don't care if I've got to start from 0 and it's going to be slow and long and difficult. Because I'm here, putting in the work, changing. Doesn't matter if I'm not the strongest person in the world right now. Doesn't matter if I'm not the fastest person. Doesn't matter if I'm not the smartest. Because we're well on the way. And that is more important than anything. Accepting the journey and accepting to love the journey. And you'll get further than anyone else. It's 2 types of people, right? First person loves to win. The second person loves to run. Who do you think is going to run further? The guy who loves to run.
And I challenge you to do that because you can change. If you don't like how it is for you, change it. If it doesn't suit you, change it. If it doesn't please you, change it. If it isn't enough, change it. And I challenge you to do that because you can change. See, you don't ever have to be the same again after tonight, only by choice. If you don't like your present address, change it. You're not a tree. Now, let me give you 3 steps to personal development. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What does it take to really make the changes starting tomorrow? It takes more than philosophical pronouncement. I know that. It also takes more than enthusiasm. I know we're hearing a lot about enthusiasm these days, but see, that just won't do the job. We're still hearing the old cliches of the 30s, right? To be enthusiastic, you must act enthusiastic. But see, that's not going to help. After you have leaped about, there are some things you got to do, or it isn't going to change. See, you can get all excited about lifting 200 pounds till you get to the gym. And then you need a new excitement. And the new excitement is called discipline. Major step to human progress. Discipline. If there's one thing to get excited over, that's it. Get excited over your ability to make yourself do the necessary things. What could you make yourself do starting tomorrow that would change it all? No! Tell me. Now, see, that's exciting. On any given day, you can massively change the direction of your life. Murder is a clear example that any one person on any given day can forever alter the course of their life. It just happens to be a negative act. But just as sure as you can commit a negative act, you can also commit a positive act and forever alter your life. Whenever you wish. Now that's exciting. And whatever that act might be that changes your life. The guy finally takes a shotgun to his car and blows out every window, destroys every tire, puts 100 rounds in this shabby old thing. And he says, I have driven this embarrassing thing for the last time. And not only will I never drive it again, nobody else will ever drive it again. And he lets that shuddering thing stand there for a while as a monument to the day he said, Today my life changes. Now who can do that? Anybody. When can you do it? Whatever day you pick. Now here's the key to discipline. Start with the little disciplines. Get excited over the little disciplines. And get right on those, because those will lead to the big ones. You can't handle the big challenges in life unless you take on the little ones. Make a list of all the things you can do. Get right on those. Discipline yourself for those, both for the results and for the muscle and for the practice. So that when life hands you some big challenges, you'll be ready, you'll have the muscle. But see, if you don't handle the small ones, you can't take care of the big ones. Okay. Here's what else it takes for life change. Self-motivation. Key phrase, self-motivation. I don't know why we call it self-motivation. It's really the only kind there is. You got to motivate yourself. Because I found out you can't change people. They can change themselves, but you can't change them. Lord knows some I've tried. But see, it won't work. People have to change themselves. I learned some of those lessons early. I built a little sales organization way back in those early days. I'm 25, and I had some nice people. I said, I'm going to make these people successful if it kills me. I almost died, right? I mean, you can't do that. See, I've discovered this. Good people are not trained, they're found. You find good people. You don't make them good. You find them good. Training really is for the purpose of finding good people. You don't need much instruction for a good person. But too much training probably means you got the wrong people. So you got to find the right people. That's the key to getting a good job done. One of the major things we learn in management, lesson 1, don't send your ducks to Eagle School. Because it won't help. I mean, I'm telling you, it won't help, no matter how good your school is. And the little eagle badge and the little eagle hat, I'm telling you, it won't help. It won't help. You can tell whether your school's done any good, right, is when it's over. Right? The duck goes for his first rabbit and makes him a friend. You say, no. Anyway, so it takes self-motivation to really alter your life. And you don't want to give self-motivation away to somebody else and make it somebody else motivating you. The guy says, boy, if somebody just come by and turn me on. What if they don't show up? Right? See, you got to have a better plan for your life. Okay. Now, if you're excited and you're ready to change, let me give you 3 steps to start life change that can change your life, your personality, your lifestyle, everything can change. Here's the steps. Number 1, find out how things work. The first key to doing better is find out. To change your life, really, you need ideas. There isn't anything an idea can't change. And Schoaf taught me the major problem is lack of an idea, not a problem. At first, I didn't have any money. I said to Mr. Schoaf, I don't have any money. He said, that's not a problem. Now, see, up until then, I always thought it was. Right? I was confused. He said, no, the problem is lack of an idea on how to create money and wealth. It isn't lack of money, it's lack of ideas. So if you get the ideas, see, you can change anything. Now, to get ideas, you need a constant study of finding out. Now, Schoaf also said, when you find out something that works, put the information in your journal. Don't use your head for a filing cabinet. Put it in your journal so that you can do the next best thing. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Go over it. And if you repeat it, go over it, sure enough, someday, some mysterious day, the idea takes root, starts to grow, and shows up in your bank account, and your dress, and your personality, and your lifestyle. But capture the ideas in your journal. Find out how things work. Schoaf gave me this word for my life change. He said, study. Great word. If you wish to be successful, study success. If you wish to be happy, study happiness. If you wish to be wealthy, study wealth. Don't leave it to chance. Make it a study. Some people just go through the day with their fingers crossed. See, that won't do it. You've got to study the things that can change your economic, social, spiritual, personal life. Now, here's a qualifying phrase. And we'll have several of these qualifying phrases throughout the seminar. Here's the first one. You may not be able to do all you find out. I understand that. You may not be able to do all you find out, but you should find out all you can do. See, you don't want to wind up at the end of your life and discover that you've lived only 1/10 of it. And the other 9/10 went down the drain. Not for lack of opportunity, for lack of information. So that's number one, find out how things work. Now here's the best human virtue for finding out. Curiosity. Make a note of that. Curiosity. Be curious. You might add a word to it that'll help. Childish curiosity. What will kids do if they want to know something bad enough? Bug you. That's the phrase. They can ask 1,000 questions. You think they're through? They got another 1,000. They'll drive you to the brink. It's a virtue. When you gotta know, be like a child. In fact, Jesus, the master teacher, said, unless you can become like little children, you might as well forget it. You don't have a prayer. Excellent advice. You gotta be like children. 4 ways, in my opinion, to be like a child. Number 1 is curiosity. Number 2 is excitement. Get excited like a child over your ability to make yourself do anything for change. 3rd is faith. Have faith like a child. Adults are too skeptical. And 4th is trust. Trust is a childish virtue, but the rewards are incredible. So be like a child. Now, if you're curious, let me give you 3 ways to find out how to change anything. Any life direction, any dimension. Here's 3 ways to find out how to change anything. Number 1 is to read. Become a good reader. All of the successful people I know and work with around the world, they're all good readers. Curiosity drives them to read. They gotta know. They just read. Become a good reader. Now, that's my opinion. Listen to the other lecturers and listen to me and make up your own mind. Don't be a follower. Be a student. Okay? I say, really, for life change, you got to read. One way to learn is from your own experiences. But another way to learn is from other people's experiences. See, one book might save you 5 years if you read it. Did you know there's books on how to be stronger, more decisive? Be a speaker, be a leader, have a better effect on other people, develop your personality. Did you know there's books on that? And people don't read them? How would you explain that? And they can read. Did you know that hundreds of successful people have written their stories in books and they wrote down how they did it and people don't read it? How would you explain that? The guy's busy, I guess. You know, you get tied up. The guy says, well, yeah, you work where I work. By the time you struggle home, it's late. You got to eat a bite of supper, watch a little TV, get to bed. You can't sit up half the night reading. And the guy's behind on his car payment. Good worker, hard worker, sincere. But you got to be better than sincere and work hard. Otherwise, at the end of your life, you'll wind up cold, stony broke. You got to be better than a good worker. You got to be a good reader. The whole world is governed by laws. The universe, in fact. Laws. We call it the law of electricity. We call it the law of gravity. There's mathematical laws, there's physical laws, speed and velocity laws, agricultural laws. There's all kinds of laws. Now that we find ourselves on the spinning planet, you just have to learn what I call the setup. Learn the setup. Life's setup. Now, we didn't set it up, but we're here, so you got to learn it. And we should learn the setup for two basic reasons. Number one, to keep from getting hurt. It's one of the major reasons for learning, so you won't get hurt. See, economically, socially, personally, you can get hurt just not knowing. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is poverty. Ignorance is tragedy. You got to know, or you're going to get hurt. It's good to know not to walk out the 10-story window. That's excellent information. Now, what if a guy didn't know and he walks out? Now he's dead at the bottom. Somebody says, well, the poor guy didn't know. You got to know, or you're going to get hurt. Okay. Now, here's a parenthesis. You don't have to like the setup. I don't ask you to like how it is. That's not what's important. But it is important to learn how it is. Okay, so you don't have to like it, but you should learn it. That's what I tell the kids, right? Make sure you get the information. What you think about it, that's up to you. What you're going to do with it, that'll soon be up to you. But make sure you get it. See, there's nothing worse than being stupid. Nothing. I mean, being broke is bad, but being stupid is awful. And what's really bad is being broken stupid, right? That's about the end of the world. I mean, there isn't anything much worse than that. Unless you're sick. Sick, broken, stupid. I mean, that is it, right? There's nowhere else to go. So make sure you get the information. It's key. You don't have to like it, but learn it. If this big monstrous thing lifts up in the sky, hangs there for a little while, cuts loose, comes crashing down, boom, shakes the ground for 5 miles. And then this big monstrous thing lifts back up in the sky, hangs there for a little while, cuts loose again, comes crashing down, boom, shakes the ground for 5 miles. It just keeps doing it, this big monstrous thing, lifting up and then crashing down, boom. Now, you might come along one day and say, that's got to be a stupid arrangement, which is okay. You're entitled to your opinion. But the first thing you should learn to do is get out from under it, right? That's number one. You might have a great moral argument. You might want to shake your finger at the sky, but do it from over there, right? So you don't get smashed. It's called your basic smart. So number one, learn so you won't get hurt. Whether you like it or not, learn. Now here's the second reason for learning, the setup, to benefit. It's called the plus of life. And that's what life is, right? Both minus and plus. The minus is tragedy, heartache, misery, failure, unhappiness. But life is also happiness, prosperity, good feelings. So here's the key. Learn to get on the good side of the way things work. Now, here's two of the basic laws, and we'll take our break. Shof taught me these. They come from the Bible. Now, again, I'm an amateur, okay? When it comes to the Bible, I'm not a pro. So you'll sort of have to take my way of putting it. But here they are. The first one is the law of use. The law of use. And it goes something like this. Whatever you don't use, you lose. Lack of use causes loss. On this planet, maybe not the next one, but on this one, if you tie your arm to your body, leave it there long enough, you'll never use it again. It's over for the arm. Now, it may not be over, but it's over for the arm. The only way to keep the use of this arm is what? Keep using it. If you quit, you lose automatically. They don't bring it up for a vote. You lose automatically when you quit. Now, the same thing that goes for your arm goes for your brain, mentality. The same thing goes for all the human virtues. Ambition, unused, declines. Strong feelings, unused, diminish. It doesn't grow, it diminishes. Faith, unused, decreases. It's a law. Vitality, unused, diminishes. Energy, unused, decreases. The guy says, well, I'm going to save up my energy. You can't do that. That's like trying to save today, put it on the end of the year. See, you can't do that. They'll come take you away. If you don't use today, what? It's lost. The guy says, well, I'll work twice as hard tomorrow to make up for it. See, that's foolish. You could have done that anyway. Today unused is lost. A talent unused is lost. An ability unused is lost. So here's one of the key expressions of the evening. Take a new inventory of yourself. Starting tomorrow, new project. Take a new inventory. And make sure that all of your talent and ability and mentality and ingenuity and vitality and strong feelings, faith, courage, make sure that all you've got's being used. Otherwise, you lose. Now, one of the best illustrations of the law of use is a Bible story called the Parable of the Talents. The talent story. Interesting story if you haven't read it in a while. Just review it. It's a good story. An ancient story. It says there was a master with 3 servants. He got them together one day and he said to the 3, I've got these talents. And in those ancient days, a talent was a measure of gold. And he said to the 3 servants, take these talents and see what you can do with them while I'm gone. He said, I'm taking a journey and I'll be gone for a while. When I come back, we'll get together, go over the book, see how you did. He said, here's 5 of these talents for you. 5. Here's 2 of them for you. 2. And here's 1 for you. 1. The master said, take those talents, see what you can do with them. When I come back, we'll get together, we'll go over it all. The servant said, okay, master takes off. According to the ancient story, the master comes back from his trip. When he gets back, he gets the 3 servants together. And as he said he would, he asks, how did it go with those talents? You were 5. What happened? That servant said, well, I took the 5 talents you gave me and I put them to work. A little shaky at first, but he said things finally got rolling. And he said, I poured it on. And he said, my talents grew to 7, 8, 9, 10. He said, I doubled my talents from 5 to 10. Books will show. Master said, one heck of a job. Or something like that. He said, I gave you 2 talents. What happened? That servant said about the same thing happened to me. I put those 2 talents to work, poured it on. They grew to 3 and then to 4. He said, I doubled my talents from 2 to 4. Books will show. Master said, well done. He said, I gave you 1 talent. What happened? That servant said, well, I took the talent you gave me and I carefully wrapped it and I dug a hole and buried it. And camouflaged it, I suppose, right? So nobody would steal it. And he said, fortunately, nobody got it. And he said, I knew you were going to be here today, so I dug it up. Here it is, safely wrapped. I did not lose it while you were gone. According to the ancient story, the master said, take that talent away from him and give it to the man that's got 10. Now you might say, well, I don't like that arrangement. The poor guy's only got 1 talent. He's already got 10. It ought to be more even. Remember, I didn't ask you to like it. But this one I would ask you to learn, because it simply means whatever you do not employ, you forfeit. It's a law. So learn well the law of use. Now here's the second one, and we're going to take our break. Second law from the Bible. This one we've heard since we were small, I'm sure. It's called the law of sowing and reaping. In fact, we've probably heard it so often we could quote it. It says, whatever you sow, what? You shall reap. Fairly blunt, hopefully clear. Here's my first suggestion on the law of sowing and reaping. Don't try to beat it. You might as well try sitting on the sun in the morning. Keep it from coming up. You'll have better luck. Whatever you sow, you reap. Now, for a fair share of my life, I'm a bit mixed up on how all this applies. Among a lot of things I was mixed up on. I knew I wasn't reaping too good. That I understood. My problem was I was confused about what was causing it. Remember me with the funny list? I thought those are the reasons why it isn't working out well. And then Mr. Schoaf gave me the clue that helped me figure it all out. He said, Mr. Owen, I have another answer for you. There's another way to quote this law that'll show you where the problem is so you can go to work on it right away. All you need to know is where the problem is. Then you can go to work on it. So he quoted me the law another way, and I found out what my problem was. Here's the way you quote the law. Whatever you reap is what you've sown. Now I knew what my problem was. Whatever you reap is what you've sown. If you don't like the crop, who do you look up? Answer, whoever planted it. And where do you find who planted your crop? Answer, in the mirror. What I finally learned to do come fall was to go to the mirror. That's where you go. And if necessary, you say, a few skinny carrots? I got to be unimpressed. Where were you last spring? Asleep? Didn't you read the books? Did you break your hoe? Let me give you 7 key points to the law of sowing and reaping. Let's tick right down through the list of 7, and it'll be break time. 7 points to sowing and reaping. Here's part of the philosophy that really helped me to make some changes in life direction. Number 1, the law of sowing and reaping is negative. That's number 1, which simply means if you sow bad, you reap bad. Now, this is kind of 3rd grade, but it doesn't hurt to go over the basics. If you plant thistle seeds, you don't get pumpkins. Honest, no use looking for pumpkins. John says, how come no pumpkins? Come on, John. The law's negative. That's how come. Now, here's number 2. The law's positive. Which simply means if you sow good, you reap good. If you plant pumpkin seeds, you don't get thistles. Not from pumpkin seeds. Mother Nature won't pull tricks on you over in the corner snickering and pushing you thistles and you planting pumpkin seeds. She won't do that. You will get pumpkins from pumpkin seeds, and the reason is because the law is positive. Now here's number 3. I got excited when I found out the full dimension of this. See, you do not reap what you sow, but rather you always reap much more than what you sow. So the 3rd key word is more. You don't get back what you put out. You get back much more than what you put out. And it works both positive and negative. On the negative side, it said, if you sow to the wind, you reap the whirlwind. So you got to get ready for that, or you will be naive. See, anybody can, whether you will or not. See, that's the question. And here's a good question to ask. We are all buying somebody's plan. The question is, whose?
Finally looking somewhat of a normal size. It's beautiful stuff. Had breakfast. I didn't want to. I was going to fast a little bit, but had really bad stomach cramps. While this camera is not straight, but I had I had egg, avocado, feta, and salad for breakfast. Really good. Filled me straight up. Just got to finish the workout, and I didn't want anything massive for lunch, so I got a nice little booster, which is some organic nuts, some cacao nibs, some chia seeds, and some manuka honey, and some goat kefir. This is the booster. Understand your future you. Create this persona. You can go into more depth if you want to, but I just have it on one sheet so that it's easy for me to read, right? But create this future you and work towards it and align yourself with the future you. How you feel, the emotions you have, the actions you take, and stop thinking and worrying about the past you, because that is what is holding you back. Everything that's happened in the past is what's preventing you from moving forward right now. And there's nothing that someone else can tell you to do, right? This is all internal. They're all versions of you. And it's only you that can change the way you think like that, right? And so that was very, very insightful for me and very beneficial to really see this Jack who smoked weed and drank alcohol and smoked cigarettes and ate junk food and watched porn and all this bad stuff, right? That's the old Jack, right? I don't do that stuff anymore because I'm aligned with my future self, the man I want to be, who takes care of his body, who runs successful businesses, who articulates himself correctly, who educates himself, who reads every single day, who prays every single day, who meditates every single day, who exercises and stretches every single day. And it's not even like a chore to do these things because it's just how I am now. It's just what I do, right? And so looking internally and identifying and understanding the different personas that you have, or you've had, or who you would like to be, and align yourself with the right one and stop thinking about the wrong one. And no book is going to teach you how to do that. You have to shut your eyes and internalize that. Okay, I have to come and walk that dinner off. That was beautiful stuff. Had some meatballs and some sweet potato fries, but the fries were slightly overcooked. Luckily, the lady I live with took them out for me. Just beautiful stuff, and then just some meatballs. And then had some pancakes. Pancake day tomorrow, but thought I wanted them today, so had them today. So some almond flour pancakes with eggs, milk, some salt, and top with some butter and some manuka honey and some cinnamon. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Bit of a longer video today. I just wanted to sort of show the extent of a full workout. Full extent of a mini workout, I suppose. And also put some Jim Rohn on in the background. Listening to people like him, not only for his insight, right, but just his character and the way he speaks and the way he articulates things, and it's so simple. He uses simplicity yet over expression, and he comes across in not only a humorous way but very, very impactful. And yeah, that's just one of his seminars, so just listening to that while I was working out. Hope you guys get the treat of that too. Just want to show the extent of a full mini workout. I'm not pushing myself, I'm not going crazy, but we're here, disciplined every single day, putting in the work. The idea of this video being a bit longer as well sort of symbolizes that self-mastery does not come slowly. It's not an overnight thing. Yes, you need to make the shift and lose that old self of yours and really embody the new version of you and remove yourself from the past you, but it's very, very difficult to do overnight. I mean, hats off to you if you can do it, but it comes with little changes, removing bad habits one at a time, adding good habits one at a time, usually not at the same time. Don't remove one and add one. I mean, you can try it. It didn't work for me however many times I tried it, but bit by bit. It's not instant by any means. It's not overnight. And so the length of this video is sort of a homage to that, really. Comes to the point where you realize you have to change, and every man's got the ability to change. Doesn't change because he hasn't got enough reasons. Dig deep, look inside, find those reasons. When you find the whys and the reasons, that's when you can start to make the real change. Just a side note, yesterday I had some chicken before I went to the film, or after the film actually, in the evening when I got back, and that killed my stomach. I can only account it to that because that's the only thing out of my normal diet that I ate apart from the nuts, but they were like roasted and salted mixed nuts, no sugar, no chocolate, no nothing. And I can only assume that the chicken that I had from the supermarket was just filled with sugar and all sorts of shit. And that killed my stomach, and it's crazy to think that I just had essentially burger and fries and pancakes. I'm not bloated. And it was so good. It's crazy stuff. But the key topic for today is inner mastery, and mastering yourself does not come lightly. It's not a challenge that you just sort of half-ass and you think, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do this, or yeah, I guess I'll stay at it and then I'll see how I feel in a week. Nah, it's an all or nothing commitment that you need to make to yourself. No one's here forcing you to do nothing. No one's holding you accountable. So the moment you make that decision, that's when you know. But ain't nobody making that decision for you. Ain't nobody holding your hand once you make it. Starting from the bottom and understanding that it'll be a long, treacherous journey filled with challenges, ups and downs, wins, the lot. I knew that taking on the challenge, right? No matter where you start from, you're always going to have challenges, always going to have hurdles. But I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. And that's because I love the journey. I love the decision that I made and the new path that I'm on. And that's what it's all about. The major factor in defining your future is you. And so all this self-improvement, self-help, joining communities, men's groups, journaling, self-improvement, all this stuff is futile. It's genuinely pointless if you yourself are not ready or willing or committed to making the change. You might have influence from people, sticking a fire up your ass, but it just fizzles out at the end of the day. All just fizzles out. And the only true accountability that's going to keep you anywhere is yourself. I've failed that many, many, many times. Here I am. Takes all those lessons, takes them. Every attempt is a lesson learned. Every attempt is not a failure, it's an attempt. It's a roll of the dice. So don't be put off when you don't see instant results. I still live in pretty bad chronic pain and still have some symptoms and all sorts of other excitements. Ain't stopping me. I'm here. Loving the journey, every single moment of it. Winning. In every day. Every day, in every way. I am better. I am getting better. That's what it's all about. Fuck all this 1% better. Fuck all this 10% better. Stop measuring anything. You just are better. And you will be. All work out in the end. Leap and the net shall appear. Just send it for the journey and get winning.